Hi everyone, I believe you clicked on this video watching the thumbnail about filing the tax for 2025 by yourself. Welcome to the video. My name is Amu. I'm an RN works in Toronto. I have filed my tax for 2025 by myself this year. I have been planning to do that for the last couple of years, but I couldn't do it because I was kind of depending on my accountant to do every year. But this year I thought let's give it a try. So what I did is I went to the ChatGPT, of course, like everybody, and I asked, how do I do my tax filing by myself? So ChatGPT gave me some information how I can do it. So with that information, I did my own research on the CRA website, and I got the information how I can do myself. The process is pretty simple, but the only thing is you have to trust yourself with your finances and the documents you're submitting to CRA. And if you're okay to do it, if you're at least 50% confident and you're okay to do it, then I would say you can go ahead and do your tax filing by yourself. I did for my husband and we only got the T4. We don't have any complicated documents or any extra documents. We both got only T4 plus the expenses we had. So nothing else. So I was kind of confident to do myself, and I did. If you are having a file which is not really complicated, then I would say it's better we can do ourselves. One thing, we can save some bucks, but more than that, you're able to do your own tax filing, which is pretty cool. So before we get into the video, I just want to give you some clarification about myself. I am not an accountant. I'm not working in the field of accountant and tax things. I'm an RN, works in Toronto. This year I'm just learning to do myself, and that's what I'm sharing right now here. So it's my experience and how I did it. You can take the information from here, but when you do it, you do your own research, because every individual might have different tax documents and everything in different scenarios, so it might change. So first step is to have a CRA account. Most of us who are living in Canada for the past couple of years and filing the taxes, most of us have CRA account. The only thing is, if your SIN has changed, let's say you went from work permit to PR and you got a new SIN number and you didn't file the tax after you changing the SIN number, you might have to register for new username and password for the CRA. You will get your same account, but when you try to log in, the CRA will ask you to change your username and password and log in with the new username and password. So you can do that. For the people who came last year and not done the filing yet, you can just go ahead and register on the CRA website. Once you have the CRA account ready, then the next thing you need is a tax software where you can file your taxes. On the CRA website itself, you cannot do the tax. You need a tax software to file the tax. So there's a lot of options out there, but the one I went for is the Wealthsimple tax, because I already have an account with Wealthsimple for my investment. So I went with Wealthsimple tax. So that's pretty easy. One, you have different options in there. One, you can go for the free option, which is I went for it, or you can go for the paid option if you want. But let's say your tax is not really complicated, you don't have that many documents, you only got T4, then free option would be enough for you. Once you log into your Wealthsimple tax, if you don't have an account, you can register. But if you have an account, you can just log in and you can start filing your tax. You have an option to start file your tax return. So you click on it and start your process. So the first section is they will ask you the basic information like your name, email address, your SIN number and everything. You can enter that. And then the next step is connecting to the CRA. You need to import the documents from CRA account. So in the Wealthsimple tax itself, you have an option to connect to log into CRA account and authorize the CRA account to import the data from the CRA account. So your T4 and all the documents you have will be automatically imported to this Wealthsimple tax, and the form will be automatically filled. Even though it's automatically filled, you just have to double check everything is accurate. Mine was accurate, but I still double check it. It's better for you to double check it. So once everything is automatically loaded onto this Wealthsimple tax, everything will be filled. So you just double double check everything is filled, and if there's anything missing, you can update it. Step number 5 is add credits. So you can add credits such as your rent, your medical expenses, or your tuitions. If you have any kind of things, you can manually enter the amount you have used. So you have an option for that. Once you're done with that, next step is review the whole thing. There is an option for you to review. Once you click on that, it's automatically review, and then it will show if there is anything needs to be filled or something is wrong. If there is any error, it will show you, then you can fix it. Once you're done with that, come to the last section, which is submitting to the CRA, and you will receive your refund within 2 weeks. When you submit, you can see how much money you will be receiving. Mine, I can see that I'm gonna get the refund on April 8th. But this is the first time I'm doing. I'm not 100% sure that I did correctly. But the CRA will eventually assess your tax filing, and if there is anything, CRA will let you know, so you don't need to be worried unless you're giving the wrong information. As long as you're giving the right information and putting the right amount, and you have all the documents to support that, then I think you're in clear, and it should not be any problem. But again, if you're not comfortable doing by yourself, it's always better to give it to an account. It's not really that much money you're paying for them to do the tax filing, so you can always opt for it. But you're confident enough to do the tax filing by yourself, you can go for it. One thing to add is I have done for my husband and I. So if you're doing for your spouse as well, you don't need to do a separate tax filing. You can do separately, but it's always easy and better to do it together, because anyway your income is counted as the whole amount, so it's better for you to do together. So I did my husband's tax filing also with mine. So what you can do is in the same app itself, so while you're adding yours, then within that itself, they will ask you whether you're married or not. So once you put that and the name of your spouse, then there's an option to add your spouse, so you can add their name. And once you add their name, you can start their process too within your tax filing. The only thing is, within the Wealthsimple tax itself, we again need to connect to their CRA account to import all the documents. For that, they need to authorize on their CRA account that you're representing them. So before you're doing their tax filing to yours, you just go into your spouse CRA account, add your name as a representative. And the first thing is you need to go into your CRA account. There's an option for you to add, I'm acting as a represent. So once you enter that information, you will get a number in your CRA account. Next step is what you should be doing is going into your spouse account and add your name and the number as a representative. So once they have in their account that you're representing them, then you can easily come back to the Wealthsimple tax, and you can add their information and connect to their CRA and auto upload all the documents to the tax filing process. And once you get both of your information, you can see how much money your spouse and you will be getting separately, and you can review both files and submit. And it's a pretty easy process, but if you're doing for the first time, you might have a lot of questions. Either you can check on ChatGPT, or either you can check on different kinds of videos like this, which will help you to figure out how you can proceed. Or you can either check on the CRA website. There's a lot of information on CRA website itself that can help you navigate through this process. When you do the tax filing, don't be surprised if you see very low amount as a return, even though you worked for a lot of money. Because one thing, if your employer did the tax properly with every paycheck, exactly the amount should be taken, then you won't be getting much back. So what I learned over the past couple of years is what you receive as a tax return is the amount you have paid them. And when you do the tax return, you won't get much money back to you, because not extra money was taken with your every paycheck. Next thing is, if you have go above some pay range, combined your spouse and you, then you won't really get much money. Sometimes you have to pay to them. When I used to do my tax filing as a single person, I used to get a lot of money. But when I combine the income with my husband, so I get very little amount. So don't be surprised when you see that. So that's how the tax work. I know it hurts sometimes because you're paying thousands of dollars as a tax. Because when I came to Canada, I didn't expect this much money would be taken out from my paycheck. Now I'm working as an RN, and when I see the paycheck, all I want to do is to cry because of the tax and everything was taken away from my paycheck. But that's the reality of Canada. The country is built with the taxpayers' money. So you should not be surprised when you see these kind of things. So now I'm not surprised. I am have my peace with it. So you can eventually have your peace with it because that's how this country works, which is good for everybody because for the country's growth and everything, they need the taxpayers' money. So that's how it goes. So I don't want to drag it too much. So apart from that, I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, you can comment on this video. I will try to respond. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you on the next one.